Daisy Keech just admitted that there were other problems in the Hype House besides Thomas Petrou, and we have all of the details. I'm Gabi Conti.
I'm Jana Rosenberg, and this is your 24/7 celebrity news. We know that influencer Daisy Keech left the TikTok collective Hype House because of issues she was having with the house's manager, Thomas Petrou. And up until recently, we thought that was it. Both Keech and Petrou made YouTube confessionals telling their side of the story, but now Daisy is saying there were other issues with the TikTok collective Hype House, aside from Thomas, that made her part ways. This also might shed light as to why Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio might also be leaving the Hype House.
Yeah, and I got this from another interview she did, but she actually touched upon this when she went live with you. Also,
yes.
And she's not really talking trash about the Hype House.
Yeah.
It's more that she's saying like, this is my personality, this is how I'm productive, and it just didn't align with what they were doing.
Totally, it didn't mesh with her.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and I see that for her. I feel like she works out every day. She's in really good shape. Like health is like a big thing for her. And I think like her goals and like her daily routines didn't line up with everyone else's in the Hype House.
Right.
And that's totally cool. I don't think it was negative, like a negative thing she said at all, you know?
I think if the Hype House was one of those memes that was going around that's like, in this house, this is what's in the house, that she wouldn't have picked that house.
Totally.
And it's not personal, it's just like 2 p.m. wake up calls, not for Daisy.
Not for
And
Daisy.
I get it, not for me either. I have to get up and do something. So Daisy actually told this to 17 magazine that it wasn't just Thomas that made her unhappy in the Hype House, she was also just not a fan of how the house was run, which is why she's working really hard to create a smoother structure in her own collective house, the Clubhouse. She explained, quote, "I've learned to create a really strong internal structure because we were 1,000% lacking that in the Hype House. I felt very undervalued, and I never ever want any of the members or any of the staff to ever feel that way because everyone has such a big role in this."
I agree. I think, again, there's like 3 sides to this whole story, but no matter what, like what she's saying is so valid. And
It's so valid, and it's also kind of how Sway House runs their house because they have their managers in the house as well
Absolutely.
who are keeping structure. And it's so true. You can't, I've heard this a lot, that a lot of influencers that have a staff, that have like a big following, their staff, they never want their staff to be aspiring influencers because it's like they're not on your team. Like it makes a lot of sense.
Daisy is running her Clubhouse with a 5-person management team instead of 1 manager like the Hype House has. This management team is not made up of content creators, so they can focus on just their business role of handling any issues creators might have. Keech explained another issue with the Hype House, which was that she felt members who had the most followers had more authority, which she felt was problematic to house management.
It also backs up and explains why she said it felt like a dictatorship,
Yeah.
because that's basically what a dictatorship is that it's not a democracy, you're not getting everyone weighing in, although this is a big part where the 2 of them had different opinions because Thomas said,
that's not true
but
at
Thomas
all.
admitted that he does make all the decisions, but he just runs it through people. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I think he was saying too, like there's a vote, but at the end of the day, I guess everyone has like some kind of say, but he was like, I have to be the person that makes that final decision because that's what I am.
Right.
Although you guys, when we interviewed Addison here at Hollywire, we literally just posted this on our TikTok. She literally said the Hype House is a place where no matter what, how many followers you have, what social platforms you're biggest on, we all work together. If we're gonna be in the house, we're gonna be doing content together. And Daisy like really didn't feel like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting because they're fairly close friends.
Well, and also at the same time, I think that 2 people are gonna feel differently in a situation. And I think, maybe Addison's lifestyle is that she is aligned better with the rest of the Hype House members.
Totally.
Like, that could be possible too. It's interesting too because then what Daisy did say kind of backs up what Addison is saying in a weird way, because she also told 17 that the people who had more followers in the Hype House had more authority. So if that is true, it would make sense because Addison has more followers than Daisy.
Oh, wow.
So maybe like Addison, probably not knowing, could have been like, oh, it doesn't bother me because she's getting what she wants. You know what I mean?
Like, and they really wanted Addison.
They really wanted Addison in the house. Or it could also mean she could also be throwing shade, not shade, but being aware, maybe Charlie is someone else who has the most followers in the house, the most followers on TikTok.
Yep.
So Charlie also could be making a lot of these decisions as well. And then next out of the most follower people could be Little Huddy, who we already kind of assume Daisy has beef with. So it could also be that Little Huddy is making a lot of decisions and had more authority over her. And then Thomas and Daisy actually don't have a big gap of difference in followers. Daisy has 4.3 million on TikTok, Thomas has 3.8 million. And not saying that like Addison's doing anything wrong, but I just think it's more of like she's just less aware of it.
And it just makes sense to everything we've heard. That actually kind of definitely ties kind of all pieces together.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think is going on here? Like, what is your opinion on this drama with the Hype House and the Clubhouse? Daisy, Thomas, let us know. I'm Jana Rosenberg. Rosenberg.
I'm Gabi Conti, and keep it here at Hollywire for your 24/7 celebrity news.